in this next interactive event, hopefully. I do want to say my apologies that we didn't have the conversation with Jasmine Alakari and Alice Ady earlier. Unfortunately, due to connection issues, that's not going to happen today. Similarly, we have connection issues with our keynote, so hopefully we're going to be able to do that later. That's why we're jumping straight into something that will get you really energized and really excited about all the many endangered culture prompts you've been responding to throughout your whole day, obviously. Yeah, see, Anthony knows you've only just, done them. And that's where we're going to head in now. So we've, throughout the day, been inviting you to reflect on some provocations on your endangered culture cards, and you have eventually done them. And so we'll now bring Anthony Simpson-Pike back to lead us through some collective imagining through those reflections. This will be participatory. It will also be kept to time, and you'll probably see me over there having an alarm and just shouting, "Time's up," and then you'll have to contribute some of your own thoughts, which would be really fun for those of you who have been in this room all day and want to say things. So yeah, we'll welcome Anthony back to the stage.
Thanks, everyone. Hopefully you've had a chance to engage with the endangered culture cards today. If you haven't, don't worry, you'll be able to do that as well now. But today we've heard a lot about the power of stories and imagination, about how important it is to have multiple stories about multiple ways of living. We are all storytellers, but we're trapped in a single story culture called extractive capitalism. We need a new story of living. I'm going to read from the third prompt, and then we'll do an exercise. The crisis is also a crisis of the imagination. We need a new story, but people are finding it hard to imagine living in other ways. It's not their fault. The single story is designed for that. Some don't want new stories to be told. They want people to believe the world has always been this way, and all storytellers can do is describe it as it is. But stories express the limits of our imagination. And if you tell a different one, you can expand what is possible. That question again, what can one person do to change a whole story, to imagine a whole new way of living? Well, who better equipped to do that than a storyteller like you? You think of your tools and remember the ritual. People gather to invest in a new story and agree to believe something they might never have before, that anything is possible. Not only can the ritual change people's ways of seeing, but if enough people work together, it could change our story of being too. A collective act of imagination for a new tomorrow. So now we're going to do a collective act of imagination. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to just work in groups of 4. It can be very informal, with the people around you. And just to tell the story of a day in a regenerative future, from waking up to going to sleep. To be as ambitious as you can with that, not to be concerned with what is possible, anything is, and not to be concerned with the limits of capitalism. So be really specific. You wake up, how do you wake up? Do you go to work? Do you have a job? Do you not have a job? How many days would you be there? How do you get there? Just be really specific. And then we're going to hear a couple of these stories of a regenerative future at the end. So it doesn't have to be massively long, but it's just a story of a day from waking up to going to sleep. So get into groups of 4 now, and I'll come around and help out if anything feels unclear. And we have 10 minutes for this task. So there's 10 minutes. Does that feel clear? Is that...
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, tell us what's well,
Okay, you're halfway through. Halfway through.
I think, yeah, a lot more time in these floating gardens where like relies on the spectrum of reality. And I'm sorry that one of it's great. I saw that you were on the website. So it's a simple wine. And it's a niche. And what about you? Oh great, I didn't see that one. I was in the program. Actually, our group was good because we were all over the world. Like the place. Yes. Amazing.
1 minute left.
The artist, yeah, I know. I'm lucky I didn't into artists. There's music for me. The background. Nice to meet you. Lovely to meet you guys. Bye. Oh, let me see. Speaking of which, what time my tree is. Yeah. Oh, you mean like, at the hotels and stuff? Yeah. Oh my God. So scary. I was like, it's yeah, I know. It's all just across the road. I looked at, I could get a ticket. completely missed. She had to leave, and I was like, oh, hi, so can I say art and culture? And I was like, oh, you know, it's just like, you know what? It's so good.
All right, thank you, everyone.
It's like all museums or whatever.
Bring that to a close, please. Everyone sounds very energized to talk about a different future. So it would be great to hear back from a couple of groups about their story of a day in a regenerative future. Who could volunteer to tell theirs first? And we're giving people like 2.5 minutes to max. Do you want, have we got some mics that we could bring around? Great. Should we go with this group? Just down here? Yeah. Come on, be brave, everyone.
Okay. Well, we discussed the concept of, so of course, living amongst nature, like predominantly, and so firstly we talked about how we like the idea of privacy, but with community as an emphasis. So I feel like personally, I feel like the world we live in at the moment, we're very much enclosed in ourselves, and we aren't as trusting with one another. So we live in these kind of contained spaces that we call houses, whereas in this regenerative kind of world, I would imagine that our definition of houses is a little bit more lax, and we don't have those kind of restrictive areas. Would you like to continue? I love it.
Yeah, so we were talking about how to be communal, but at the same time understand privacy, have different idea of ownership. So everybody has access. So there is a different, and we talked about maybe different. To have a different idea of work, so maybe 2 days a week is enough, or less, depending on what people want to do, and that should be enough. And also this idea of not going back in time, but so maybe certain ways of doing things, or food or whatever from old times, but how to use what is possible now to think of that, but we didn't have more time.
Thank you, that's brilliant. Okay, another group. I'm going to choose this group over here.
Okay, sorry. So we went on a very similar way. But after hearing you saying, I was thinking about how can we discussed about how do we build, how power is shared with the community. And I was thinking afterwards, how is there any way that we can, through cultural practices like singing and dancing and performing, can we find a way of sharing power and changing the power dynamics so that we can build the sense of collectivity, of shared unity of the community. So this is one of the things that we were discussing and thinking. I don't know. Does anybody have it? another contribution to make.
But that's fine. You don't have to. I chose you, but that's really brilliant. Thank you. Could we have two more? Is there another group that's willing to talk about their story? Or shall I choose? Up there? Oh, there's someone down here. Up there, yeah.
We were thinking about our culture's attitude to punctuality and obligation.
Timekeeping.
Exactly. And I was just thinking, if we do away with some of the convenience associated with everyone owning their own vehicle and instead move to a more like public transport-based system, then on occasion people are going to be late or whatever. And I was just thinking, if in this hypothetical utopia, if there was a meeting at like 7, then maybe the culture would be, you know, most people would turn up maybe 5 minutes before, some people would turn up 5 minutes late, and in the meantime, that wouldn't be perceived as like some waste of time or anything like that. And even if you're going somewhere and the only like convenient train is like a few hours beforehand, now more than ever we live in a time when that sort of time when you're waiting doesn't have to be wasted. We have like audiobooks on our cell phones. We have so many resources that everyone has access to make as much time of their life as productive and meaningful. Productive in like a well-being sense, not like an economic sense, but as meaningful as possible.
Thank you. Sorry, I heard I heard the alarm going off with you. I was like, turn that off. Let's have one more group, please.
We're going to tag team this. So we imagined ourselves in a lovely community where the people that we lived with woke up, shared breakfast together, tended allotments, and went out to the business of doing some work and some education. We talked about how education would be a much bigger part of everybody's life because children would be taught in much smaller groups. So the job of teaching would be done by a lot more people. We talked about the way that communities would come together and join together at the end of the day to share stories and music and entertainment, because we reinvented the internet. And we decided that the internet would still be a live thing, but that it wouldn't hold data. So we wouldn't have great big sort of warehouses full of cooling systems holding loads of unnecessary data. So we still use it as a tool for connectivity, but it's not, it doesn't hold information in quite the same way. Do you want to pick up some stuff?
Yeah, we radically abolished TV. I'm really sorry for anyone that doesn't want to be in our regenerative future, but we thought we'd be capable of telling our own stories and reflecting back our world to each other through playmaking and theatre and ritual, and we thought that we wouldn't be building any new infrastructure. We'd be reusing and going back to those scrapyards and gathering everything from those landfills and repurposing all the waste that humanity has offloaded to the elsewhere and use it to build that which we need. And we're really thinking about, what do we need in the future? We know that there are always going to be children, so they need to be educated. We know that people are always going to fall ill, so how do we radically reconnect with our own medicines and learn how to take care of ourselves and heal ourselves? And people are always going to pass away, so how can we care for those in their dying process and really come to terms with grieving and with loss, and that be a really healthy part of us living regeneratively? I think I heard an alarm, so I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Those are all really brilliant contributions and ideas. if you have any others that you'd like to send in to JB, please do via tweet or email, or give in your piece of paper at the end. And now I'm going to hand back to Alison or Noga.